Hello, welcome back to the channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings. We generally like to talk a load of bollocks about tabletop gaming in general, and in this video we're going to be talking about a tableau building game. We're going to be talking about Earth, and in this game we're playing cards into a 4x4 grid, trying to chain different mechanisms together that will give you victory points that will hopefully allow you to win the game. So in this video we're going to be giving you a very brief overview of the rules, telling you what we do like, what we don't like. Then we'll come back and we'll tell you whether or not Earth is worth your time and bother today and in the future. So remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel, hit the like button and all that YouTube bullshit. See you after this. Bollocks. So, Earth, how'd you play this game? So Earth is a tableau building game. The aim of the game is to get the most victory points, yeah? Someone will take an action, then the next player will take a weaker version of that action. The game will end when one player has finished their 4x4 grid of cards in their tableau, right? So each player's going to take a player board, going to get a starting deck of cards. Each player will get an island card, a climate card, and an ecosystem card, and you'll stick a number of fauna cards in the central display. Fauna cards are like objectives that you can score, so think of them as like video game achievements, right? Once you fulfill the achievement, you'll get a certain number of points. So on your turn, you can choose one of 4 actions. You've got the plant in action, got the compost in action, got the water in, and the grow in action, right? If you choose the plant in action and you are the active player, you get to take a stronger benefit, yeah? You'll be able to plant 2 cards into your display. You do this by choosing cards from your hand and you'll stick them in your display. The first card you put down can go anywhere, then any card after that has to go either orthogonally or diagonally adjacent to a card you've already got in there. And the second part of this action is you could draw 4 cards and keep 1, yeah? Everyone else gets to plant a card and draw a card, right? Second action you could do is the composting action. You can get 5 soil. Soil is the currency in the game that you'll be spending to plant cards, yeah? And you'll be able to compost a couple of cards from the deck. Take 2 cards from the deck and you'll stick it in your compost pile, yeah? Composted cards give you 1 point each at the end of the game. Everyone else will get to take 2 soil, or they can compost 2 cards, yeah? So next action you could do is watering. The active player can get 6 sprouts and 2 soil. You'll place sprouts on cards that have the correct spot for them. And you can either spend these during the game to do stuff, or you can save them at the end of the game, and each one of them is going to give you 1 point, yeah? And then all the other players will be able to get 2 sprouts, or they'll get 2 soil, yeah? So final action you can do is the growing action. The active player will be able to take 4 cards and they'll be able to do 2 growth. The way this works is you'll get a couple of trunks from the supply, you'll stick them on the relevant spaces on a card that allows you to do that, and you'll see that there's a maximum number of growth that you can have on each card, yeah? And if you manage to complete that number of growth, you'll stick a big purple canopy on top of your trunk, and this will score you the victory points in white, yeah? So once you have taken one of the 4 actions, you'll be able to activate the abilities on the cards in your tableau, going from left to right, up to down, yeah? So obviously it stands to reason, doesn't it? When you're planting cards, you've got to be looking for the most efficient chain reactions that you can get when you're placing your cards. You'll also have an island card and a climate card. The island card gives you your starting resources and gives you a nice little benefit, and the climate cards give you a benefit that you can action once somebody has taken their turn. You'll see that on your player board below the actions. It'll tell you which coloured actions you can activate. The planting action, you'll be able to activate all the green cards, and all the others will activate that colour card, plus you'll be able to activate any rainbow cards as well, yeah? You'll see that the floor cards are made up of a load of different icons, just like a terraforming Mars thing, and they've got a different category, like a mushroom or something. They might give you some sprouts or something like that as the victory points you're going to get, the cost in soil that you have to pay, and then at the bottom you've got the ability and which action triggers it, yeah? So the game will end once one player has placed their 16th card. You'll finish the turn and then you'll do a bit of final scoring. You'll get the victory points from your cards. You get victory points from any cards in your event space. These are more often than not negative, yeah, but they give you a nice benefit during the game. You get 1 point for each compost card you got, you get 1 point for each sprout you got, you get 1 point for each trunk that you've got, and that's like you said, you put a nice purple canopy on it. And there's a couple of other points and things like that, but I can't be asked to go into it. But basically, at the end of the day, the player with the most victory points will be the winner of Earth. So what do we like about Earth? So the first thing that we really like about this game is that there is always something to do. It uses that tried and tested mechanism that started off, I think, with Puerto Rico, where the active player gets to take the super duper benefit, then everybody else gets to take a weaker benefit, but you still get to do something, yeah? So you're always going to be engaged with this game, and when somebody chooses an action that you're going to get a really nice benefit from, then it gives you like a nice warm fuzzy feeling, well, somewhere. So the second thing that we really like about this is that the final scoring is hidden, and if you've been watching this channel for a number of years, you will know that hidden final scoring is one of our favourite things about board games, yeah, because you're going to be on the edge of your toilet seat, yeah? It's going to be squeaky fucking bum time, right up to the last minute. Like, I remember when I first played this game, I was way out in front, and everyone was like, well, you've won the game. And I was like, hang on a minute, hold your fucking horses just 1 second, yeah? And I ended up coming last, yeah? Just because there's so many different things to consider when you're doing final scoring, yeah? So it's very exciting. And yeah, I don't really get excited about it much these days, but the final scoring in this does sort of give me a bit of a boner. So the final thing that we really like about Earth is that it does have a little bit of player interaction, yeah, and a lot of these types of games don't have any player interaction at all. They are multiplayer solitaire affairs, but in this one there are certain cards that will allow you to benefit from what your opponent is doing. Like when I played this game just the other day, actually, I had a victory point bonus that let me profit from my mum's tableau, right? So whilst there's not that much player interaction, does sort of break the mold with these tableau building games where you can actually profit from somebody else's work. So don't we like about Earth? So the first thing that we don't like about Earth is that there seems as though there's almost too much to consider, yeah? I mean, I've seen reviews of this game and they talk about getting to know the different synergies between cards, yeah? But this is like looking for a fucking peanut in a load of Gorilla shit, isn't it? There's almost too much going on, too many different variables to try and knit all the nuances and ramifications of each different card together, yeah? Sometimes it feels like you're just playing cards just for the sake of it, just because if you didn't play a card, then there wouldn't be that much else that you could do. And there's a case that sometimes you regret placing cards because you could have put something else there later on in the game, yeah? So is there too much salt in the soup? It's quite possible. So the second thing that we don't like about Earth, and this plagues other games of this type, is that the random card draw means that you're going to be reacting to stuff rather than planning anything. I just wish that they had used the Arc Nova style card display that you can choose from. If there was, say, 4 or 5 cards that were always out that you could pick from rather than picking blind, then you could plan a little bit more, couldn't you? But as it stands, you're just going to be drawing cards from your hand when you take grow action or whatever. And if all the cards that you need have been composted, then you are fucked. I know there's different types of cards that allow you to look through the discard pile and all that, but a random card draw can be a little bit frustrating because you're going to be cursing your luck when you keep drawing cards that you don't bleeding well need. So the final thing that we don't like about Earth is that it can get a little bit chaotic when everybody is taking actions simultaneously. If someone gets one of the actions wrong, it's going to be very difficult to unpick. But if you go the other way and you each take your actions individually, then the game is going to drag on for far too long. When we played this, when there's like all this chaos going on of people taking simultaneous actions, how do you decide who takes the action first? There might be a card in the deck that you need, but somebody out of turn order took that card and you wanted it. If there'd been a turn structure, then you would have got that card. And I think I moaned about this in Race for the Galaxy. A few people tried to shoot me down saying that the deck is completely random. Well, it's not, is it? Because once the order of the deck's been decided, it's no longer random, is it? So it can be a little bit chaotic, a little bit frustrating with all the simultaneous actions going on. But if you don't do it, then you'll be here until you basically die. So to summarise, is Earth worth your time and bother today and in the future? So we are going to say yes. Earth doesn't really bring anything radical or new to the table, but that doesn't mean it isn't a hugely enjoyable game. Think of it as a cross between Race for the Galaxy, Terraforming Mars and Arc Nova, and you will have a solid idea as to what is on offer here. There's almost too many variables in play to make complete sense of the best strategy, and the randomness of the card draw may lead to constant groaning among certain players. But insofar as tableau builders go, Earth is a decent distraction from other games that may or may not be better. I'll leave you to decide that one. So there you go, that is Earth. Remember, if you are new here, please consider subscribing to this channel, hit the like button and all that YouTube bullshit. See you next time.